So today we are going to be doing Poundland versus Tesco's. That is just crazy. That is crazy weather out there. So we've got a really big puddle of water there. Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So I was going to do this out in the woods, but we've got COVID in my family, so I'm locked down for 10 days. So I thought, what's best? I'm going to bring you a video actually in my own garden. So this is a requested video. You've already seen it by the title. I've just recently done a Poundland summer haul, and a few people contacted me saying, did you know that Poundland were doing tents? Can you test a Poundland tent? I didn't know about Poundland having tents. I went to 3 Poundlands in Norwich, and eventually I did find one of the Poundland tents. So this comes in at £10. So today we are going to be putting the Poundland tent versus a Tesco tent. So the budget sort of tents out in the market. So this one, the Poundland one, did cost £10. I've already mentioned. It's a 2-person tent, and it's a light. It says it's a lightweight tent. Yeah. So it only says it's splash proof and easy to set up. So it's splash proof and easy. Like the forecast in Norwich, in about half an hour's time, says it's going to be about a 90% chance of rain. So looking at the clouds at the moment, yeah, we can see we've got some dark clouds forming, and I reckon it probably is going to be a 90% chance of rain. So we're going to really test out the splash proofness of this tent. But I just want to do one tent on its own. I thought I'd do another budget tent. So Tesco's last year was selling off their 2-person tents at £10 each to sell them off. Yeah, so this is the Tesco 2-person double layer tent. And it does have 2 layers. This one says it's 2.6 kilograms. It has 1,600 millimeters of water hydration heat, fire rated, tape seams, and for 2 people. So we've got this one here. So we've got the Tesco one, which I bought for £10. We're selling at the moment for £25. And we've got the other one. So the 2 versus tents, I'm going to pitch them up now. We're going to leave them inside the garden. Let's get these 2 tents set up. Poundland tent. So it comes with some fiberglass pulls, some tent pegs, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tent pegs, and some guy lines. We've got the top little tarp shelter and the tent itself. Okay, the pulls are the same size. They're very flimsy, so very, very flimsy. So you've got to be careful. I won't put this in high wind. Right, so the corners have a little peg thing, and it's also got a little loop for the corner of the tent to fit inside. Right, so we'll now push it up now and see what it's actually like. Let's get it up. I think it's just come out. Yeah. Right, so here we go. So there's the tent. At the moment, we'll get the roof on. Actually, take it in first before we lose them. One peg. So the roof just clips on. It's literally just a clip on a panel, I'm guessing. Right, so it's got these two guy lines. Now where do these two guy lines go then? It's literally just string. 1, 2, 3, 4 guy lines. But looking at the tent, there are no areas to tie the guy lines on unless it's to do with these on the top. Okay, so the instructions don't say where they go either. So I've got 4 guy lines. So the only thing I could possibly think where they would go, if you're going to have anything, is actually on this thing here. So let's go for that. Quick boat line. Boat line on there, and we'll just do a quick figure 8 on the bottom. Okay, I was going to do the full test today. To set it all up, went to zip it up to give you a little talk through, and I found out that the front fly and the front mesh does not have a zipper on it. So you see here, there is no zipper anywhere down the front of the tent. But we can have a look inside. And there's bits of string all over the place, hanging on the top, so the quality, the finished quality is not that good whatsoever. I say there's cotton string everywhere. You can see daylight coming through the tapes over there. I've got a hole literally there. You can see it going all the way through on there. So the seams, none of the seams are tapered anywhere along the top. On the tent. So I'm 165 centimeters tall. So let's see, can I actually lay fully inside this tent? Okay, so I'm laying down, so my head is at the very end of the tent. My feet are at the very end of the tent as well. So I wouldn't really say this is an adult sort of full-on tent. It's more of a kids' party tent, sort of looking at it. But I'm going to have to call this one here for this tent, purely because it's failed already. Because I can't zip it up. If I can't zip it up, I can't sleep in it because I can't make it waterproof on the front of it. So I'm going to need to go to Poundland. Well, I'm going to need to contact someone to go to Poundland for me and try to change this over and get me a new tent so I can actually come back and carry on doing this video. Right, so we'll come back another day. See you in a bit. Zipper. I also just lost the end cap as well. That just came straight out. Put that back on there. Okay, so it does go back in. Do nice and tight. The back only just fits in. Let's contact Poundland and sort this out. Okay guys, so I've contacted Poundland. I know the manager personally, he's a good friend of mine. So we've now exchanged the tents, so we've got a brand new tent, and a next storm system is about to come over the top of my house. Got blue sky up here, but I can see the clouds coming over the top of me. So this is going to be a perfect test, just to put these two cheap tents out to the test. So let's get them up as quick as physically possible. Okay, let's have a quick look. This tent's gone up a lot, but there's also seems to be a lot better inside as well. So let's have a quick look inside, shall we? So inside this time, I can see no loose threads all over the place. So it seems to be a lot better. We can still see sunlight coming through some of the seams, but the tent itself seems to be a lot better in actually the making. Oh, here it comes, here it comes. Can I get the second one up? So we're going to change to the GoPro now because it's going to get a bit raining and these tents aren't, my cameras aren't waterproof. Oh, thermal weather! Okay, we've got the waterproofs out, so we've got the first one up. We're going to see about putting up the second tent as well, just so we can actually put the comparison. But this one's going to be a slight disadvantage because it's now raining, and I wanted to get it up before the rain came. So let's see if we can get this one up. Right, here we go. This isn't rain, this is hail. I'm in Maine, in the UK. What's going on? The poles seem to be a lot more sturdier than the Poundland ones. They're still made out of fiberglass. And it still comes with two poles. The outer goes up first on this one, which is handy because I'm not going to get my tent wet on the inside. Okay, so the tent's up. I'm soaked. So let's get the inner bit done, I think. Oh my word. Just take it in. Right, it's dying down now, but it does come with a whole load of tape sticks, so the Tesco one, and they seem to be a lot better quality than steel. Seem to be steel. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 pegs. So I've got 19 pegs, so that's good to hold this in. So let's just get the pegged out the front. So I wonder how the Poundland one's holding out at the moment then. Let's have a quick look inside here, shall we? So at the moment, oh, we've got water pooling inside this tent. There's water everywhere. It's coming down, so it's definitely not waterproof. My tent camera's getting wet, so let's get rid of that. Whoa! Okay, I've just had to come into the shed out of the rain. Look at that out the window. That is just crazy. That is crazy weather out there. Hail, snow, sleet. Oh man. As I say, this is middle of May and the weather is just crazy out here. We still need to put the inside of that tent up yet. So I'm going to do that and I'll bring you back in once I've done it. Okay, I did say I'll bring you back in when I've done it. I've just opened it up and I'm looking around the tent at the moment. I can see, yes, the seams are tapered. With all that rain we just had coming in, I can't see any water dripping down on any of the inside of the fly other than when I just put it up. So they are little clips. We've got little clips and you just hook in the loops. So we're getting that, and there's some temp guy lines, or some temp peg holes on the corner of those, so we'll get those put up as well. So let's get this thing up. Oh, now that was fun. Right, I've just got a slight break in the storm. If there's one's past us, there's another one about to come in. You probably hear the rumble of thunder. But the Tesco one, I think it sells about £25. I picked it up for £10 in sale, so technically these are both £10 tents. Where, oh, we've got stuff up here. This is a double skin. It does say it's waterproof, and it's gone up quite well. Even with that massive rainstorm, I did have a few little snags you saw sort of coming over there. But at the moment, I'm fairly impressed. But we're going to wait for the next storm to come over. That was only a short, sharp storm, only lasted about 10 minutes. So we're going to see how these things actually fare. But let's get the cameras in and have a quick look now. As it's not pouring out rain, we can talk a little bit clearer. We can have a little look what's inside the tent. Okay, so it's got a flap on the outside of the zips, which we can see here, which is covered up, which is done with Velcro. It's got elasticated cords to hold the bottom down, so we've got some added protection on there. We're going to open it up now. I'm just going to throw it over the side for some now. It does have a little bit of a ground sheet. I haven't actually pegged it in at the moment. I'm just lazy. It's pouring down rain when I did it, so we're coming over there. So when we come in, what I have noticed though is the outer part of the tent is mesh and the inner part of the tent is actually the tent lining. So most tents you have it around the other way around. You have the inner part mesh and the outer part lining, but this one's the way around. So we're opening it up, we're opening both up and have a quick look inside. I need this one as well, I think. When you roll these up, people always roll them up that way. You don't want to roll them that way because when it does rain, rain traps inside it. If you roll it the opposite direction, it's a bit more awkward to roll it, but what happens though, the rain will fall off. So when you pull it down, you're not going to get yourself soaked. It's really good for big marquees and stuff like that. Little technique. Oh, here it comes again. We've got the inner door. We've got the outer door. And we can see there we've got a fairly good substantial tent. It's got a pocket in the back. We have a hook at the top to allow any lighting. It's got some airflow. The only airflow we've got is the mesh on the top, which goes through the mesh at the back there. So we'll see what condensation's like in there. But in the way of space, let's get myself landing here. Oh. Yeah, so again, I fill the whole thing from front to back, sort of coming over, but the rain's coming again, so
hail. Let's get this thing shot up because that camera out there is not waterproof. Ugh.
But the tent did come with plenty of pegs. We've got the tie-ups around the four corners. So they're tied up around the four corners. The pegs are all around the outside. Without doing the ground sheet, I would probably have about 1 peg or 2 pegs spare. So it's not really bad for a little tent. Right, let's leave this and we'll come back out again after this rainstorm's finished. Okay, I'm back out again. It's been a couple of hours since that rainstorm passed over and it's really blue skies out here now and really warm. Tonight's weather forecast is thunderstorms again, so we're going to leave the tents up overnight as well just to see how the sort of fared. I did have a little bit of footage when I was pouring out rain inside this and as I said, it did look very wet. So we've got a better camera out now and we're going to have a quick look inside it and see actually what it's like.
There we go then. So already I can see in this corner here we've got a good puddle of water inside that. Yeah, I'm not going to go in because it's soaked inside there. So we've got a really big puddle of water there, another one there, some water over here, and also some more puddles here. It's quite warm in here, so it will be drying itself out. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to drain some of this water out, and then we'll test it again in a bit as well.
Okay, so this was the £10 Poundland tent. It did say on the thing is a lightweight, splash proof, easy to set up. Yes, it was easy to set up. It is very lightweight. 2 people, anyone bigger than me can't lay out straight, so they're going to go on a diagonal, so that's only going to get 1 inside there. Splash proof. Had a hell of a lot of rain hit it on that very small amount of time and it just went straight through. So splash proof to me is probably that, a little drizzle, not any rain, it just went straight through the seams. So if you want to use it in summer when there's not going to be any rain whatsoever, yes, and you want a lightweight tent, it might hold up a little bit of thing. I'm going to go really extreme with these sort of things. Maybe if you're going to go to a campsite and you sleep and your child wants to go and sleep outside the tent with another on their own, maybe sort of over a caravan, sort of put it on there. Yes, they'll take this sort of thing. Or if they want to go in the back garden and sleep in the back garden, yes, I've allowed my kids to sleep in this in the back garden quite easily for £10, a bit of fun for them. If it breaks, it breaks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And if it does get bad weather, they can come indoors the house. Or a little play tent with a bit of shelter coming over there. With the way of ventilation, it's only got the vent on the top, so allow the free flow sort of coming over. But as a little party, little play tent, you can get sometimes better deals. But we'll see what happens tonight when the weather kicks up again with the wind, and we'll have a look at this, how it fares with the wind as well.
So hello everyone, so it is 12 o'clock now. I'm inside the Tesco tent. I was looking at the Poundland one, but it's not going to rain tonight. The weather forecast did say rain tonight, but after seeing how much water did come through when it did rain, I didn't really fancy spending my night inside that just in case it did. So I'm inside the Tesco one now, and tonight we're going to test out the the breathability of the tent itself. So you can see how much condensation it has. So we've got some airflow sitting up here. This is my Poundland little lamp, if you remember seeing that in the video. So we've got that for a little bit ambient light just to sit in here. And I've just got a lightweight sleeping bag, nice and simple today, nice and easy. And then I've also got a Poundland pillow as well. So we're going to give that a go. And a Poundland water bottle, a little bit of water. So I'll see you in the morning, unless it starts pouring out rain, but the weather forecast isn't due to be raining anyway, so it's not. Oh, it's light. It's really random to try and get some decent light. But maybe if I, there we go. Yeah. So if it does start pouring out rain, well, I've checked the weather forecast. It's not going to rain, so we're just going to see what the humidity is like inside this when I wake up in the morning. Is it damp inside, or is it some good ventilation? Until then, I'll see you in the morning. Here we go. That's the little lamp. Night night. Morning everyone. So, how was the tent last night? I was sleeping that end to start the evening, but I've had to turn to the door end of my head, because what I noticed, well, you can't see it here, but you might be able to see it over here. There's such a big gap before the tent actually reaches the ground, that the wind was just coming straight through there, straight into the tent, into my head. So you just felt the cold air to come straight in and straight all the way through the tent. So I put my head at the door end, which gives more gap between I actually get my head cold, which is a lot better, and a much better sleep that way around. In terms of the length of the tent, I can only just fit inside myself lengthways, so I need to go diagonal if you're any sort of bigger. I've seen loads and loads of loose threads. Yeah, so here we go, loads and loads of loose threads all around the outside of the tent, for the inner. But it seems to be dry. But I have looked outside here, and the condensation on the inside of the tent is actually quite a lot. Even with that airflow coming through, there's also a lot of condensation on the inside of the tent as well. Here we go. Look, you can see it all the way down there. Yeah, and especially the door. When you try to get out of the door, the water's just going to pour down and get you wet. And you can see the very bottom of here. There we go, we've got water droplets forming at the bottom of the tent due to the condensation from the inside. So even with that airflow sort of coming in, it's still allowed the condensation to build up inside of the tent. I've just hit my head on this little lamp. But I have just looked at the weather forecast. This afternoon is meant to come up to 40-mile-an-hour winds, so I'm probably going to leave this one up and just to see how well it does in the high winds from now. So there's going to be some more rain coming, and then some high wind warning as well at the same time. So catch back and we'll see how do these £10 tents fare up to a little bit of wind. Hi everyone, so I'm back outside again. So I'm now currently sitting inside the Poundland tent. The rain, as I say, it's 2:30 now. I did say it was going to be about 2 o'clock, the weather's going to turn again. So it's 2:30, and it's a light spit at the moment. So because the tent says it can handle light showers, so I'm going to sit in here and just see how long will it actually make before I need to get out of the tent, before it can't handle light shower at the moment. So currently at the moment it's going fine. The winds are picking up, it's starting to blow around a little bit. So we're going to see how does this £10 Poundland tent actually fare with a little bit of light rain currently, and then we're going to go into a little bit of a storm. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes and we're still holding out. So the wind's starting to pick up a little bit more now, but we are still holding out. So look,
light showers are what this tent is good for currently still. I've been in here for half an hour now, and I've started to get some slight little bits of moisture. I was just watching a video on my phone, and I've noticed there was some moisture forming on top of my screen. So I think it's coming through the mesh at the top here. So as the wind's coming through, it's coming under the mesh and down through actually my little section over there. So I can't see any moisture coming down from the tent itself currently at the moment. But it's getting a little bit heavy again, so we're going to go for the wind, and we're going to see probably about another 20 more minutes and to see what happens when the wind actually picks up. But it's getting interesting, it's getting interesting. Okay, I've just looked down the seams now, and you can see I've now actually got water coming in there, dripping off onto the top. There we go. You can see some drips coming now. That's on both sides, so that is it. So that's just over half an hour of steady rain. It's not very hard out there, it's just consistent rain coming down here to see how much moisture we actually got in here. So I'm not going to sit inside this tent anymore, just because I've seen how much water came in there yesterday, and it's been half an hour before it started to leak. And what it's done is just coming through these seams. It's coming through these seams with a join between the outer tar, or the outer fly, and the ground sheet. It's where it said maybe if you put some tapes on it and seam seal it, it might work a little bit better. I might try that one day. So I might try that one day and seam seal it and to see what happens. But is it really worth seam sealing a £10 tent? Just for use for like little things. I don't know. Put your comments down below. But we're going to leave this out a little bit longer, just to see if the wind picks up and just to see what happens with these really flimsy poles. And then we can have a quick look at the Tesco tent, which is still up behind me, and see how that one fares when the weather gets a little bit worse. Okay, so you can see it's not raining too hard out here like on yesterday. The water, as you see, is coming down the outside of the tent. And it's this seam here, so as it's going into these little bits here, they're joined in, and they're sort of bended onto each other, and then water's going into little gaps here and actually going into the tent itself. So that is where it's letting it douse down. But we've still got this out. We're going to see what happens with the wind a little bit. It does help that we've got fences up all around, which is giving a bit of a wind block. But looking at the Tesco one at the moment, we'll have a quick look inside here, just see if we see anything coming through the seams. Alright, let's have a quick look then. Can't see any moisture inside the tent whatsoever. The seam seems to be looking fairly good. So I think at the moment the Tesco one's doing well. The Tesco one's still doing quite well at the moment. It's still up there. The guy lines are still up. Hasn't moved at all. Yeah, so I head back in now. And we can look at the windows as well, and we can see how the wind's faring. But if it starts getting too bad, I'm going to come out and collapse the Poundland one. I don't want to break it just because it's raining. Just a little test, because it's still a good tent. You can still use it. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm going to keep an eye on the tent through the windows. I don't want to break it just for a video, because there still is a good tent. It can still be used by the kids and sort of fun in the summertime when it gets a bit better weather. So as soon as it starts flattening itself, I'm going to see how much wind it can take, and then we'll run out quickly to put it down. Okay, so it's now gusting about 20 miles an hour out here now. It's getting a side impact onto the tent, and you can see when it does gust, the tent is actually bending quite a lot on the flimsy aluminium poles on this one, whereas the Tesco tent, the poles are a lot stronger and it's much more tighter when I built that one, you saw how effort it was to actually put those pulls in. They were quite tight. Whereas the Poundland one is quite flimsy. So over there. So I'm probably going to call this one here for now for the Poundland one, because look at that. It is shifting. It is shifting. I don't want to break it. So let's cool this one down. Pack it away. Leave it to dry, and then the kids can use it as a play tent. Okay, so the Tesco tent, so the 2-man double layer tent, comes in at about £25. I say you can pick it up sometimes at Tesco's for sale. If you've got club card points, you get a little bit cheaper. It's only 45 centimetres sort of over, so it fits quite snugly inside a bag. What I did like about it, this is still soaking wet, so I'm going to leave it out, but the instructions are taped to the inside and they're printed on the fabric, on the tent fabric. So when it's pouring down rain like this, you're not sure. I could have researched the instructions and have a quick look at this, and it tells you how to peg them in, and then put the pegs around the outside and use 6 pegs. So the spare pegs I do have should have gone around the outside of the tent. But overall, I'm actually quite impressed with that tent. For campsites, for lightweight campsites, or if you want to do lightweight packing, gap packing, you can sleep inside a campsite. Yes, this probably would do with you over there. But I'm actually quite impressed with this tent. I would probably buy a few more of these if I needed to, just to have some quick cheap tents for the kids to sleep in the back garden or campsite. When I needed some more extra space, like if I go family camping, my big tent, which I've seen up here, I could bring one of these along with me and just give some extra space if one of them wants to have a little bit of own time away from everyone else, just to quickly throw this up. Doesn't take any weight, extra weight in the back of the trailer or in here. Okay, so the test is now over. So the winds got really bad during the night time, and I took the Tesco one down. It got to about 25-30 miles an hour winds, and the Tesco one was starting to go quite a lot, so I nipped down and finished that one off. But hope you enjoyed this little £10 versus £10 versus tents, or Tesco versus Poundland. So they both cost £10, but because one was on a sale, so it would have been £25. I'll put the links up over here. But what's your views? What would you use these tents, or would you go and spend that hundreds of pounds and make sure you get a decent tent which you use all weather? But that's it today. Just remember, it's better to be one with the wilderness than to fight and struggle. Until the next video, bye for now. Right, get all this stuff dried and wet out. Oh, it's awesome.